Support for this podcast comes from St. Alphonsus Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Clinics, with physicians, physical therapists, and trainers who treat sports and performance-related injuries, with locations across the valley. More information on services and locations at stalphonsus.org/stayactive.
From Boundary to Bear Lake, Fremont to Payette, Oahe to Oneida, there are interesting people, places, and histories in all of Idaho's counties. And Idaho Matters wants to share it with you with stories from all 44 counties that make up the Gem State. Email your ideas to idahomatters@boisestate.edu or use the Talk to Us feature in our app, available on Apple and Android, and tune in each weekday at noon for Idaho Matters.
From Boise State Public Radio, this is The Connector. It's Idaho's Daily News. Good morning. I'm George Prentice. Well, it's all about the weather this morning. We have a cluster of thunderstorms that swept across southern Idaho overnight, and a flash flood watch remains in effect. We've got details. We also will tell you about the latest ISAT scores for Idaho kindergarten through 11th grade students, and news about this year's cherry crop. It's rather surprising. It is Wednesday, the 27th of August, and here we go. Dave Grainert is over at the National Weather Service office in Boise. Dave, happy Wednesday morning.
Yeah, thanks, George.
Some pretty high winds swept through the Treasure Valley last night, and we have quite a bit in store for today, right?
We do, yeah. There were some pretty good thunderstorms yesterday that dropped a lot of heavy rain and did blow out some gusty winds, and we're going to see more of the same today. It's just a very wet atmosphere, and it's going to deliver more of the same today.
And do we still have that flash flood watch in effect?
We do. We have a flash flood watch in effect, and there were quite a few sites that picked up 1 to 3 inches of rain yesterday in short periods of time, and we did see some flooding there on Highway 21. Yeah. So yeah, that threat remains there today. So that watch remains in effect.
I'm glad you brought that up because I see a stretch of Highway 21 is closed in both directions due to a landslide between Grand Jean and Banner Summit, and I'm guessing that was weather related.
It was. That was the Wapiti burn scar there, and we got some heavy rain on top of that, and so yeah, we saw that slides from that.
Thanks for reminding us, because those burn scars are particularly vulnerable in a flash flood watch, right?
They are. That's our main concern, and so yeah, that's what we're going to be watching again today, and even the areas that are closed, just watching out for the crews that are helping clean that up, because it could happen again today. So
excellent. Okay, so talk to us about the change after this blows out.
Yeah, it's wet today, but then we start to dry out, and so just in time for the weekend, we should be back to some drier air and temperatures warming back up to around normal, which is around 90 degrees here in the valley.
And how about for today? What can we expect in Boise?
Yeah, today it's going to be cloudy, some rain, and high of 75.
75. He is Dave Grainert at the National Weather Service office. Dave, thanks so very much for what you do today and every day, and thanks for giving me a couple minutes this morning.
Sure. Thank you, George.
And State Highway 21 between Grand Jean and Banner Summit remains closed in both directions due to a landslide. Transportation officials confirmed the landslide late Tuesday. They say State Highway 21 might be closed for the next 2 days north of Grand Jean due to the slide and the amount of debris in the road. Drivers are encouraged to take an alternate route. Kindergarten through 11th grade test scores in Idaho remain stable in 2025. That, according to the latest data coming from the Idaho Department of Education. Julie Lucata tells us more.
The Idaho Standard Achievement Test, or ISAT, measures students' levels in 3 key areas: math, science, and English. The 2025 report shows student scores have remained stable compared to last year, with modest gains of less than 1% in English and math. Those numbers show a steady recovery from pre-pandemic numbers, but are still a couple of percentage points lower than 2019 levels. The scores of middle schoolers improved the most. A slightly higher number of grade 5 and 7 students reported proficiency levels in math and English, while 5th and 8th graders made the most progress in science. Economically disadvantaged students tested higher in all three categories. Military kids made gains in math, and the English proficiency of students in foster care improved by 5 percentage points. Julie Duguetta, Boise State Public Radio News.
Now to Boise City Hall, where yesterday amendments to Blueprint Boise's map for future land use came before the City Council. And while the land parcels in southeast Boise hadn't yet received a formal future land use designation, it did give the Boise City Council opportunity to talk about the importance of that land in southeast Boise.
This obviously is an area very, very close to me as well. I'm right there by Micron and our neighbors, and we've always expected growth out there. And Boise's thumbprint on planning and growth is really strong right now. As we look at communities around us, the direction that our zoning code takes development is in a very sustainable and desirable way.
We've got folks that are moving forward with huge expansions in different parts of our city, and we need to be able to address it and be able to talk about it.
I think this council is curious about exploring residential development in the southeast part of town.
And I think we owe it to the citizens to say whether we're going to annex that in or not and what the time frame looks like.
And there were Boise Council members Jordan Morales, Lucy Willits, Council President Colin Nash, and Council member Kathy Corliss. Earlier this year, the state legislature said cities and counties needed to better define boundaries of areas of impact, and this week's amendments at City Hall helped define some of those boundaries, again, this time in southeast Boise. We are checking in on fruit harvests in the region this morning, and a good many cherry farmers were expecting a pretty good year. We were told that the quality of the fruit was very high, the crop was pretty good, but staffing shortages will likely spell financial losses for farmers. We checked in with our colleagues at Oregon Public Broadcasting, and Alejandro Figueroa has this report from OPB.
This year's cherry harvest did not get off to a good start. Many migrant farm workers didn't want to risk coming north from California. They were afraid of getting pulled over or detained by immigration and customs enforcement. That meant the harvest window for some fruit had passed, and it was left to rot in the field. There was also a lot of cherries this year, but not enough demand for it at the grocery store. Leslie Tamura is with the Columbia Gorge Fruit Growers.
Given the economic uncertainty right now, where everyone's kind of fearing a potential recession and just cost of food in general, people weren't buying the cherries. Stores were not willing to lower the price to try to move them faster and be able to take more.
Some farmers say they don't expect to break even this year. Oregon and Washington are among the top producing states for cherry, along with California. Alejandro Figueroa, OPB.
And that is today's episode of The Connector. I'm George Prentice. We'll see you back here on Thursday. To stay in touch with the news between now and then, check out BoiseStatePublicRadio.org or download the free Boise State Public Radio app. And thanks for listening.